Alright, here we go. It is another day in paradise, and we are going to do some stuff and get somewhere with the things that we're doing. And hopefully, the things that we do and the stuff that we do is all kosher. That's really all I can say about that. I'm just really diving every morning deeper and deeper into the animation world. I think that I will finally finish writing season 1 of Compression Man, and then go to recording all my voiceovers for it. I had this odd thing last night where I got home and I had nothing to do, but also felt like doing nothing. If that ever happens to anybody else, I could edit my audiobook, which I did wind up doing, and I also could write on my current project, which I didn't wind up doing. But I think the biggest thing is it was just that weird feeling where I very clearly had nothing going on. Like, I even went to my Xbox twice to see if I could find someone to talk to, and nobody was on. And so I edited my audiobook for close to an hour, and I was like, well, I could start monkeying around with that book again, since this is kind of losing its steam. And then I was like, but I don't really feel like doing that either. And so ultimately, I wound up landing on Compression Man. And I was like, well, I'm on episode 11, and I really need to finish that out. So let me at least get through season 1, and then I need to figure out what season 2 is gonna have in store for it. And I hope that season 2, or I hope that I can wrap up season 1. And like, I made good progress on my audiobook too. I shouldn't scold myself so much for that. It is very hard for me to motivate myself to do anything on those audiobooks, and I don't know why, but it's like, probably because it's just 40 minutes of just chopping and piecing together some audio with the hopes that it all works together or whatever. I don't know. It's not the kind of editing that really excites me. Not that like visual editing particularly excites me either, but it at least excites me more so than just audio editing. And because that's what it is. I spend 40 minutes reading the chapter, and then I've got to spend almost twice the amount of time. I'm trying to get over. Is this person going to let me over? I mean, at this point, I'm just here. But, anyway, I spend a good amount of time just editing the darn thing, and then when it's all done and said and done, I gotta do it again. I gotta do it 16 more times, and historically it has not proven to be a very fruitful adventure for me, and so it's hard for me to get behind making the videos or making the audio when I'm just like, I know that nothing's gonna come of this. But like, yesterday was the perfect day to do that because I literally had nothing else going on. I tried to walk away from that project multiple times, and then I was like, well, it's the only thing I got going on, so I guess I'll come back to it. And then I wound up finding Compression Man instead, and I was like, let's do this. And that seemed to work decently well. I'll at least write out episodes. Well, I finished 11, so I'll at least finish out 12, and then I will voice, I think I have to voice 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, so I've still got 5 episodes left to voice, and then I'll have the entire season mapped out. And realistically speaking, I hope to get through the entire season next year, and so that'll be big to have all of those episodes ready. I think I'm up to episode 7 right now, which we're animating 5, which means when it's done, we'll start working on 6, which is already done, but then it'll only be a matter of time before we're on 7 already, and I will have caught up with my voice acting portion of it. So I need to get back on gear there, get Compression Man's, like I said, I'm probably just going to finish the season out, and then I can start planning season 2 at some point in time next year. I don't need to do that anytime soon. I have kind of an idea of what I want to do in season 2, and we'll kind of figure out how that's going to play out at that point in time. But like I said, I'm excited for where this is going, and like a lot of season 1 past episode 5, I would say maybe past episode 6. Past episode 6 is original content. It's based loosely off the original run that I did. Like episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 definitely stay very true to their original episodes. Now I cut some out because the original episode 5 was focused on Call of Duty Zombies, which is fine and all, but I didn't want to make this I didn't want to make Compression Man known as like a spoof series, and so although I wanted to spoof things, I didn't want to make that its entire thing. And so I opted to omit the original episode 5. And then there's the idea that in the original run, issues 1, 2, and 3 were each like a minute apiece. And so I combined them all into a single issue number 1 and put that out back in 22. And then with that being said, there was let's see, issues 1, 2, and 3 all got crammed into 1. The original episode 4 was the Saxzilla episode, which is the one that introduces the Hooboos as enemies, and that is now episode 2. Episode 3 is a completely original episode in that I feel like the next one in line, episode 5, would have been the Kill All episode, but I opted to have where am I going with this? I opted to have a random episode inserted in there that explains how the friendship between Compression Man, Mr. Crazy Pants, Jordan, and Simpow all kind of formed. And that episode was the Diner episode 3 that I envisioned. And then episode 4 stayed very faithful to the original episode that it was based off of, which is the Kill All episode. And I think maybe the Kill All episode was 6 originally. Because, yeah, the original episode 4 would have been Saxilla, then 5 would have been the Zombies parody. So I think 6 was the original Kill All episode, and then 7 was Grim Reaper, and now I have 4 as Kill All, 5 as Grim Reaper. And I know, like I said, I know for a fact that the Kill All episode stays very faithful to the original episode because, so I did all the voice acting and writing for this back when I had planned the original run. Back in 22, when I was planning the original run, I recorded and wrote all this down, and then I ended up abandoning the project in episode 2. But now that I've picked it back up, I'm just reusing all the things that I've already done. And so, with all that said, where was I getting with that? I recorded all these back then. I had become disconnected with the fact that I based it so completely on the original run. And obviously I had been working on episode 4 for a couple of months by the time I decided, hey, I'm going to watch the original episode 4 and see, like, the similarities. Like, I obviously remember well enough the original episode 4 from back in 2012 when I originally created it, but, like, I didn't realize just how pretty much identical they are. It's just like, it just got a facelift is all. And so yeah, it was a good thing to see, and part of me wants to compare, and I probably will at some point in time, but part of me wants to compare the original Grim Reaper episode to the episode that we're putting out now. I think it is I think they are relatively similar as well. I don't know if it'll be as faithful as the episode 4 was, but it'll probably be pretty close. But then after that, that's when things start to get a little bit original. Episode 6, I'm pretty sure, was a concept from the original run, and then 7 also kind of leads in. 6 leads into 7, which is also kind of what I did, and I feel like 7 stays pretty true to the original episode. At some point in time, we do get away from well, I keep saying that, but I keep finding similarities, like, and I'd have to go back and watch the original run to know for sure. Like, I feel like it does start taking its own shape in 7, and then 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. There's definitely a whole segment, I think, in 10, 11, and 12 that was not part of the original run, and that whole segment I did so that I could include some new characters, and hopefully I can continue to run in a good direction. If I can average 6 episodes a year, basically, and because I was like, I wonder where I'll be in 2032, which will be the 20-year anniversary of Compression Man. And if I can continue that, then I will be, let's see here. If I can keep that going, I would be 60 episodes in. That's a pretty good chunk of change there. And if each episode remains 5 minutes long, what's 60 times 5, fam? I'm not good with math. I think you can just do 6 times 5 and then add a 0, right? And 6 times 5 is 30. And so if you add a 0 to 30, that'd be 300 minutes. 300 minutes divided by 60 hours. Is that 5 hours worth of content? Is that how that or 300 minutes divided by 60 minutes. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Yeah, 5 hours. That's a pretty good chunk of change. 60 minutes, 5 hours. Obviously, in 10 years from now, I hope that I'm not just continuing to push out the same monthly, not even monthly, but the same like a minute every month and a half pattern. Hopefully, I'll be pumping them out a bit faster than that, because that's like right now, like 6 episodes a year is, and 6 5-minute episodes a year. That's really only 30 minutes of animation and 30 minutes of content every year. And maybe if that's all Compression Man needs, it's all it needs. But I'm wanting to make it something bigger, badder, better. And hopefully I can get there. And so we'll see what the world holds and what all I have to do to get to be somewhere that the world can appreciate. But I am determined to get somewhere where the world can appreciate that work. And like there's so many different ways to to make a living off of that platform that it's nice to explore them. And hopefully, that's the other thing, like for the season finales, I do want to try and get like guest voice actors on there. And I've got my eyes set on Joel Haver for the first episode, and we'll see what as the first guest person, and we'll see if I can actually get him on board. If not, then oh well. But I'm pretty excited about the whole thing, and we'll just see what happens. But that could be the thing that gets me, that could be the thing that puts me on the map, is if I can nail down some good popular voice actors to play parts. I still do want to play the core characters myself. I have enough voices in me that I don't need to hire out the entire cast of characters, and their voices are cartoony and wacky enough that it doesn't really matter that one person talks like an insane pirate and the other person talks like this or whatever. And so I think it is ultimately a good thing. It works with the mood of the show. And like my voices are so drastically different from each other that I don't know if like some people can honestly tell that all the voices are me. There's definitely some of them that blend together, like the golly, I can't find my words right now. The Compression Man and the announcer sound very similar, and but like the principal cast, you can tell pretty clearly who's who. I don't think you can tell that clearly that I am voicing them all either. So at any rate, we will do what we do. I'll continue cranking them out and trying to build an audience around it, and hopefully that happens. And that's all we can really hope for. Right now I'm building trying to build an audience naturally, because Google cut me off from their ads program because I refused to give them my ID, which I think they shouldn't need. So, at any rate, I thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.